Another question that I was asked explicitly on the Instagram poll that I did for this was, as a fencer, should I be bulking or cutting?
Yeah. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. That is a bodybuilding question.
Yes.
No, it's not bulking or
I think you mean body lifting, by the way.
body lifting, right? Yeah, body lifting, right? But it's definitely not bulking or cutting. You're getting stronger as an athlete. You're looking at, can I increase my power production, the power development? Can I improve my flexibility? Am I able to improve my mobility? That's more where you're looking for as a fencer, a fencing athlete. And actually for most athletes, right? That's what you're looking for, right? As a bodybuilder, yeah, that's different, right? That's their sport. That's where they're looking more for the bulking or the cutting, or even some other sports. But for fencing, that's not really the goal I would say a fencer should be looking for in terms of bulking.
Yeah. It's not really something
Yeah.
It's not really something I like talk to my clients about unless they explicitly ask or I'm concerned about one direction or the other. You can look at fencers' body types. We're not big, muscular people for the most part, but you can be successful with a variety of body types, which is one of the like amazing things about our sports. So yeah, we don't. Depends. I don't know. Are you too skinny that no one like is defected or affected by your peri? Then maybe we need to put some muscle on. Are you like not moving super well? Then maybe we need to like cut back. But it's not a main topic.
Yeah, I think that bulking and cutting are not good terminology for fencing. But like you said, if you're in a position where you feel like you want to pull the person short, but you just don't have the leg power to do that, you might need to strengthen your legs. But again, it depends on your individual problems that you're having and what point of the season that you're in, because you obviously don't want to put on a bunch of muscle right before national championships or something, because it'll kind of throw the natural feeling of your body off. So
that's a very good point.
Yeah, the answer depends on your specific problem and what part of the season that you're in my opinion. So
yeah, definitely like more hypertrophy in the off season, maybe a little bit in the preseason. But you're going to work on like maintenance throughout.
Exactly.
But
yeah, that's really what it is.
Yeah. So let's talk about some exercises we can do for hand speed and for your footwork. So
okay, Kelleigh, you can start.
Sure. So I think, and I'd be interested if you had a different opinion. I think for hands, it's like majority going to be the stuff you do in a lesson and in fencing.
So when it comes to that, it's right. It's going to be that training that you're doing with your fencing coach, right? In terms of that hand speed, that's where that's going to come from. Things I would incorporate when I'm working with the client. Let's say when we're doing our lifting, right, is again going back to changing that tempo, right? So if I'm going, with fast tempo, that's what I'll incorporate for that, right? Or the medicine ball throws, working on that power. But in reality, like it's going to be more the work that you're doing with your fencing coach when it comes to that in particular, right? Now, if we're talking about change of direction, acceleration, deceleration, now we can work on that in my world, in the gym, right? Or outside, whatever, where we're working on the sprint mechanics. I'm working on showing that athlete how to properly accelerate, and then how to properly decelerate. It's very important, right? So it's not just stopping. There's going to be a form to it on how you have to drop your hips, just how to position the body to know how to decelerate and accelerate, and then also working on agility drills with the athletes, right? So that's where we can work on that foot movement, and then we can progress that, in terms in different ways. That will be mimic, fencing. in a way for the footwork drills and all that stuff. But in terms of with the hand movements, like I said, we'll add on the weights, we'll change that tempo, medicine ball work, same thing I do, but most big part of that part is going with the coach. And,
So to add to what you said, the deceleration is going to come from your eccentric strength, so your ability to slow an object down. So the bottom, like we talked about earlier with tempos, the down part of a squat or a split squat, that kind of thing is going to help you with your change of direction, because you can stop better and change directions sooner, right? Now you also need to focus on the concentric part, so you're going to get some med ball like throwing and maybe Olympic lifting, or lifting something heavy at that's not your max, so it's like maybe 80% or something like that, 70% of your max speed or max weight, sorry. What was I also going to say? Jumping and stuff like that, you work on your deceleration and your reacceleration. And there was one more that I wanted to mention, but I can't think of it, so maybe it'll come up later.
Yeah, so jumping on that also is that what Kelleigh's also saying, the eccentric you coming down is you want to stay low in terms of with that change of direction. You standing up, same thing for running. If you're just standing up, straight up, right? It's harder to go faster. It's harder to change direction. So you actually want to keep yourself low when we do it. So when cues I'm always giving my the athletes is stay in the tunnel, right? So imagine
that's a great one.
Yeah, so stay in the tunnel, stay low. That's how you're able. That's going to help in terms of you with that change of direction. So when we transition that into fencing, and I know for me when I was with my coach, when I'm in that fencing stance, it was always sit lower, right? Move forward. I'm able to move.
Wait a second. Are you saying that every coach who has ever told their student to stay low has been right? That's so weird.
There's a reason. But yeah, you're sitting low. You're able to accelerate, decelerate faster, staying in that tunnel. Now, when I was younger, I was like, why are they telling me this? I didn't fully understand. Not until now that I'm in that world. And I'm like, oh, this makes sense. I get it now. It used to annoy the hell out of me. Keep on saying, stop standing up, sit low, sit low. I was like, what does that have to do? I'm fast. It's not going to change anything, right? But no, it actually does.
Yeah, actually, the stay in the tunnel one is I heard from like a few coaches, but Lee Taft in particular, who I mentioned earlier. Yeah. And I was doing one of his courses. I know you did something with him before. I was doing it like over this pandemic, and I was thinking about the stay in the tunnel thing when I did like an advanced lunge, for example, and I was feeling really good doing it. Now, I'm not fencing any opponents. I am hitting a target right now, so I have no idea if that cue will work for fencers, but I have this theory in the back of my mind that I'm going to play with when I go back, actually get to try and hit someone and they can try and defend themselves. So we'll see. But one thing we didn't mention, and you may notice, is we didn't really talk about ladders. And I think that like it might be worth noting that the strength and conditioning world has kind of moved away from making an argument for that for foot speed. It's like a good warm-up tool, but it's not really commonly believed to increase foot speed. The other, like, you want to think more about like elasticity in the ankles. Like, I don't know what you would call this exercise, but the one where you're like stiff-legged and like the pogo, I call it, where you like hit the floor with your feet, like that kind of exercise, or like anything where you're like hitting the ground hard and getting up quickly. And then most of the like short contact time, that kind of stuff is going to improve your foot speed.
Gotcha.